Hello and welcome to the program. I am Bukola Koka, and this edition covers Nigeria's northeast. And we start off immediately. All illegal structures and businesses located along road corridors, right-of-way, green and utility areas in Bauchi metropolis are currently being evacuated by the state government. Governor Bala Mohammed, who signed the Executive Order 3 of 2024, emphasized the importance of correcting the security and environmental implications of these unauthorized practices and warned that non-compliance may result in a penalty of 3 months imprisonment or a fine of 100,000 naira. Our correspondent Hajara Aliyu reports.
And other structures on the streets of Bauchi metropolis have been identified as illegal by the state government, and owners have been instructed to relocate. Many business owners were seen dismantling their makeshift structures while expressing disappointment at the situation.
It's devastating when someone is asked to leave a place of business and doesn't know where to go. I have 15 dependents and I don't know where to go.
This initiative is part of the state government's urban renewal project, My Bauchi Project 2, aimed at transforming the city into a modern urban center. Governor Mohammed's vision includes the construction of 2 flyovers, an international conference center, the newly built government house, modern markets, and other infrastructure projects. To accommodate affected businesses, the state government is providing alternative spaces in designated clusters such as mechanic villages, timber and building material markets, furniture markets, trailer parks, and more.
We have identified new locations where we take most of these businesses. And I have said earlier on, the illegal structures along the road, we are going to structure sort of corner shops. And all businesses are going to be in a form of cluster.
The recent Executive Order 3 of 2024, signed by the governor, underscores the seriousness of the removal of illegal structures due to security concerns, with enforcement measures in place for offenders.
Some of those shanties are used, according to our security information, by bandits, by terrorists, by Sarasuka, and so on and so forth, who make it a home. And we are removing them with a lot of reservation because we know that it's going to affect our traders. The government will take a prototype design for shops along the streets that is going to make Bauchi beautiful and secure. And that's why we have signed the executive order. But be rest assured that government is very sensitive, responsible, and responsive. We are taking measures to ensure that minimal pain is caused.
These efforts are expected to give Bauchi a new and improved appearance. Hajara Aliyu, Channels Television News.
In the meantime, the Bauchi State Governor has signed 3 executive orders aimed at protecting consumers, the environment, and public infrastructure. Executive Order number 1 of 2024 focuses on community and environmental protection, public safety and security, and the prohibition of deforestation in Bauchi State. This order is designed to curb the growing challenge of illegal tree felling in the region. The Bauchi State Executive Order number 2 of 2024 mandates the adoption of a unified system of weights and measures across the state. This measure is intended to protect consumers from the proliferation of inconsistent and potentially deceptive practices by traders. The Bauchi State Executive Order number 3 of 2024 bans the issuance of permits for the construction of illegal structures along road corridors, green areas, rights of way, utility areas, or setbacks within the state.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my colleague, the gentlemen.
In Bauchi State, this aspect of security and environmental protection is a key, especially the aspect that is impinging on our security and, of course, our biodiversity that is further aggravating the deploration of our environment by charcoal sellers, bush burners, fellers of trees and what have you, with a lot of impunity and connivance between our forestry officers, local authorities, and various levels of leadership. The law is providing for prosecution and, of course, taking very decisive action on them, and it is going to be implemented without let or hindrance. The other order, the second order, is on the need to maintain standard and unified weight and measures in the state. It's part of our responsibility of leadership. We have different measures, that is Mudu, that is being used in our markets, and we took the initiative with the local government, Ministry for Local Government, and our ulamas, and all that have the stakeholding responsibility on this, to come up with a one acceptable measure that is being manufactured, and it will be distributed to all our local government towns and villages, and the old ones will be withdrawn. Anybody found using the small or the big of the former ones will be prosecuted.
Governor Inuwa Yahaya has received the Minister of Housing and Urban Planning, Hamad Dangiwa, for the groundbreaking ceremony of 250 units Renewed Hope Estate in Gombe State. Mr. Dangiwa revealed that the project, which is President Bola Tinubu's vision of providing affordable, organic homes for all Nigerians in the 36 states of the Federation, comprises of 50 units, one-bedroom semi-detached bungalows, 150 units of two-bedroom semi-detached bungalows, and 50 units of three-bedroom semi-detached bungalows to be completed in 3 months at the cost of 4.2 billion naira.
According to all available reports, housing deficit in Nigeria is estimated at 28 million units, requiring trillions of naira to meet the housing needs of millions of Nigerians without shelter. To bridge this gap, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Ahmed Dangiwa, says President Bola Tinubu is building renewed hope estates across all 36 states of the Federation to give every ordinary Nigerian a roof over their heads, as 250 units of renewed hope estates with 3-month completion spans dot the 36 states of the Federation.
This is just a start of the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. We plan to build 100,000 housing units nationwide. Now we have taken estates, each of the 30 states of the Federation. The remaining 6 states we are going to do renewed hope cities, and most of the sites of construction have started. Today, this is the 5th site we are now doing the groundbreaking, and we are continuing for the remaining 13 states that the contract has already been awarded and contractors are mobilized to site.
While highlighting his administration's efforts to support the federal government in providing affordable homes for the masses, Governor Inuwa Yahaya is full of commendation for President Tinubu's clarity of vision embodied in the Renewed Hope Estate projects.
We are also equally trying to address the issue of housing deficit, and especially to the downtrodden, the masses that are looking for homes. And in that regard, we, in conjunction with the Family Homes Initiative, embarked on building about 550 housing units. They are almost complete. In fact, I will invite the Honourable Minister to go and see. He's the Minister of Housing for the Federation, knowing fully well that when we key in between the state and the federal government, we shall easily reach that destination of providing homes to each and everybody.
Projects inspected include an 11-kilometer road infrastructure in Tunfure community, ongoing work at College of Nursing, gully erosion and flood control projects, road construction in various parts of Gombe State, and school projects.
I came as governor with a clear vision and a mission to deliver on the needs of the people. And you can see happiness on their faces. This is part of the commemoration of the 5th year in office. And I'm going to inspect all the projects. But I'm starting now, and I will end up going all the local governments in order to ensure that we see and appreciate what the people have been to say with regards to the project we are doing for them.
The Minister of Housing and Urban Development says Governor Inuwa Yahaya is ticking the right boxes as far as the Urban Renewal Initiative of the federal government is concerned, emphasizing that the governor is diligently following the renewed hope vision of President Bola Tinubu.
I'm highly impressed, honestly. And all the projects I've seen, they have impact on the people. That's why the entire people, the entire masses of this Gombe are very happy and elated by just seeing the governor inspecting the project which he has initiated. They know where they were before and they have seen where they are now. That's why when they see the governor, they seem to be very much happy and elated.
With Governor Inuwayaya's desire to provide housing for the masses of Gombe State, matching President Tinubu's renewed hope estates, the masses seem to be at the center of development at both the federal and state levels.
The governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, has commissioned 6 mega schools across different locations within the state capital to promote girl-child education and also reduce the number of out-of-school children in the state. The project, which is funded by a $60 million grant obtained from the World Bank with a repayment time frame of 25 years, is being implemented by the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment.
The 6 mega schools are part of the 52 schools being built across the 27 local government areas of Borno State by the Babagana administration to encourage learning and address one of the root causes of insurgency. This follows the recent flag-off of training for about 6,000 teachers found to be trainable after the competency tests conducted by the State Ministry of Education.
The commissioning of the new permanent site.
The State's Commissioner for Education, Science, Technology and Innovations and the State Project Coordinator elaborates on the schools.
Government Day Secondary School in 77 Housing Estate. A Government Day Secondary School in 1,000 Housing Estate. A Government Junior Day Secondary School in Mulari. A Government Day Secondary School in Blaburin Devi. A Government Day Secondary School in Goindamgari. This marks only the first phase of our project within Maiduguri Township.
The Agile supported program intervention reaches all the 27 local government areas of the state, both public, junior and senior secondary school, well prioritizing target areas that are poor and have lower secondary transition rate among girls.
To the glory of God and to the benefit of the community. This is
While commissioning the schools, Professor Zulum sheds light on the loan conditions.
I want to give this away to all those that are getting projects. We need to work on any other project that you want to do. I'm a very meticulous somebody. The coordinator, I know all the projects better than even the coordinator. It knows me very well. I do use to read line by line. I used to start sitting with the Federal Commission of Education, who is also a very hard-working commission.
With these new schools, the Zulum administration has built 120 schools and recruited over 4,000 teachers since its inception in 2019.
And still to come on the program, the World Bank funded Northeast Multi-Sectoral Crisis Recovery Project in collaboration with Adamawa government commences distribution of farm implements to more than 40,000 citizens in the state. Stay with us for details just ahead. Welcome back. The World Bank funded Northeast Multi-Sectoral Crisis Recovery Project in collaboration with the Adamawa state government has commenced the distribution of farm implements and inputs to over 40,000 farmers affected by insurgency in the state. Flagging off the distribution exercise in Yola, the state capital, Governor Hamadu Fintiri of Adamawa describes the agricultural sector as pivotal to the state's economic growth as well as the welfare of the people.
Adamawa State, with a 75% arable landmass, has been the food basket of the northeast region for years. However, insurgency and frequent farmers-herders crisis has wreaked havoc on livelihoods in the state. The state government is distributing farm implements to about 40,000 farmers supported by the Multi-Sectoral Crisis Recovery Project. Governor Madu Fintiri is represented at the event by his deputy, who arrives at the venue alongside members of the State Executive Council.
The Deputy Governor of Adamawa State.
This support is to help boost agricultural production in the state.
The flag of today marks the second phase of the project's implementation of interventions in the agricultural sector. During the first phase of the project between 2018 and 2022, known as the original financing, over 12,000 farmers in the 7 hardest hit local government areas of Adamawa State were provided with farm inputs, supplies, and training. Additionally, 1,260 beneficiaries received small ruminants. While the first phase of the project focused on stabilization and recovery, necessitating support to individual farmers, this phase targets registered cooperatives with a focus on value chain development and sustainability.
The Deputy Governor proceeds to inspect and symbolically flag off the distribution of the items on display.
Acknowledging the crucial role of agriculture in our economy, our administration has placed emphasis on initiatives geared towards modernizing and transforming the sector for enhanced productivity and increased revenue generation for our citizens and the state at large. Under the purview of the MCRP, my government has made substantial investments in revitalizing key agricultural infrastructure in the state. In addition to the support rendered by the MCRP and other allied entities, our government has initiated several other programs aimed at bolstering agricultural productivity with the overarching goal of ensuring the prosperity of our farmers.
Head of the World Bank Northeast Operations, Serena Kavici, says the bank is looking into the sustainability of the project.
Most organizations have been giving short-term interventions, humanitarian aid, and we decided a long time ago that was no longer the way of operating, but rather providing implements, providing inputs to have really an impact in agriculture. And at this time in Nigeria particularly, I'm very glad these activities are taking off. As you know, there's a lot of needs. There's a food crisis ongoing. The government took very bold reforms in economic terms that are putting people really in hardship. And this type of intervention can have a real impact for the future.
A beneficiary describes the intervention as timely.
Most of us, this is the thing that we want from government to support us, so that we boost our economy and to get something to develop our society.
The distribution of the farming implements will help evolve the beneficiaries into micro, small, and medium enterprises, thereby enhancing the economic well-being of their members, communities, and the state.
The government of Yobe State says the 5-year administration of Governor May Malabuni has completed several projects and initiated new ones that would boost the state's economy. The projects include 5 ultra-modern markets, 4 sesame companies, modern trailer transit park, 14 mega and model schools, road projects, as well as the multi-billion naira international cargo airport. In this report, Channels Television examines how these projects would impact on the lives of the citizens through job creation after years of Boko Haram insurgency.
I'm highly impressed with the turnout of the voters, and of course, that's democracy for you, is to give the people the right to cast their votes, that is to exercise their civic rights. And that is what we just saw, and I'm highly impressed with the outcome. I am not opposed to local government autonomy. When I came on board in 2019, my concept was to give autonomy to the local government. Unfortunately, about 6 out of the 17 local governments that we have in Yobe State can't even pay their salaries. So the wisdom behind this joint account, complementing the efforts of the local governments with the states working together in executing some projects, is an idea that is, I think, muted out of these shortfalls, because you can't go ahead and start retrenching people simply because of all these difficulties. But Of course, this is Nigeria, and of course our democracy is growing. Before we know it, it shall be addressed seamlessly.
We'll bring you that report subsequently. But in the meantime, we're now being joined on the program by the Commissioner for Home Affairs, Information, Culture in Yobe State, Mr. Abdullahi Bago. Mr. Abdullahi Bago, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thanks so much for having me.
So we can start off with what the Yobe State government, how these infrastructure that we've talked about in different sectors of national life in Yobe State will impact the residents from the aviation, the cargo airport, the road infrastructure, the SESM company, how it will impact Yobe State's residents. Please expand on that, first of all.
Thank you so much. Well, these projects that were executed by the administration of His Excellency Governor Mala Buni were all geared towards improving the livelihoods, the lives of the people of Yobe State. And from the cargo airport that you spoke about to the sesame factories, Yobe is a very large producer of sesame seeds. To the road infrastructure His Excellency has built across the state. To healthcare projects, including hospitals and medical centers, primary healthcare centers. All these are designed to ensure that the lives of the people, especially those at the grassroots level, are improved, and that people can feel the impact of government in their own lives.
So let's go to the next stop now, which is the fact that Yobe State is among the states recovering from Boko Haram insurgency. But how really much of this development is part of the rebuilding process, particularly for affected communities?
Well, it's actually part of the rebuilding process, and we are very thankful for the support of our partners, both at the national level, at the federal level, and then partners from the international community. His Excellency, the Governor, has made the pursuit of peace across the Yobe State an integral part of his administration's agenda. That is why he continues to partner with security agencies to ensure that all parts of Yobe State remain peaceful. There were pockets of problem when he came on board. And those were problems that were being addressed at that time. But he continues to partner, continues to support the security agencies, continue to provide them with the support and logistics they need to fight some of these pockets of problem that remain. Boko Haram, even before he came on, was really addressed. But there were still pockets of problem that had to be addressed so that Yobe will be peaceful all across. And as we speak right now, Yobe peace continues to return across the state, and people are going about their normal and legitimate businesses. And the projects that His Excellency is executing in healthcare, in agriculture, in roads construction, these are all geared towards ensuring that people who have been displaced from their communities because of the insurgents, people who have had to leave their original abodes, and we are now returning to those communities, that they have the resources and the support they need to rebuild their lives. And that is what is actually happening across the board. His Excellency is building we have 178 primary health care centers across the state, functional ones. He is rebuilding them, building new ones, where he has finished 140 now out of 178, over the last 5 years. So he has achieved more than 70% in that respect. He has built a new 400 bed capacity hospital for mothers and for mothers and children, in the state capital in Damaturu. And he has collaborated with our international partners to establish a world-class medical research and training center that is now devoted to studying some of the local health problems that we have, problems of kidney disease, problems of malaria. They are researching on them and trying to find ways to develop new drugs and new measures to address them. This is a world-class research center that is built within the Yobe State University campus, and that is currently undertaking many of these researches. So His Excellency the Governor also building modern market infrastructures in Gashua, the capital of Bade, the headquarters of Bade local government area, in Inguru town, in Gaidam town, in Damatru and Potiskum. I have to say that only 3 out of those 5 have been completed. Those are the ones in Gashua, in Guru, and Damatru. The ones in Potiskum and in Gaidam are currently under construction and will be completed by the grace of Almighty Allah before the year runs out. So across the board, His Excellency is working to ensure that people can feel the impact of government in their lives.
So let's put a human face to this infrastructure renewal drive now. How many of Yobe's internally displaced persons have been resettled in communities ravaged by Boko Haram? Just how many of probably the thousands of IDPs? And how many children have been incorporated or integrated, as the case may be, into those modern schools that the Yobe state government is building to reduce the number of out-of-school children in the state?
Yeah, in one of the most affected communities in Yobe, in Buni, Yadi, that's the capital of Gujiba local government, there was a school that was especially built and established to address the problems of children affected by the Boko Haram insurgency. Children of parents returning back to communities that were earlier displaced by the insurgency. And because the way that many of the people affected by the insurgency actually bore the burden of the insurgency, it means that many of them actually have resettled in what we call host communities. There were communities that were not affected, but had taking in people from affected communities who had come in to get some solace and support. And many of those people have, for example, settled permanently in those communities. In one of the communities, for example, is a town or a village called Maisandari, close to Damatru, metropolis, the Yobe State capital. And we have a lot of people from other parts of the state who have now settled permanently. As we speak, we do not have an official IDP camp. Most, if not all, of the resettled people, of the affected people, have returned to their communities originally or have settled fully and permanently in host communities. But with the support of our partners, especially UNICEF, WHO, and many others across the board, the Yobe State government, under His Excellency Governor Malabuni, continues to reach out to some of these affected communities, even places where they settle, so that through the State Emergency Management Agency, they're able to receive support.
All right. We could stretch that a little further, but we're out of time, and would like to thank you very much for your time and for giving us insight into Yobe State Government's infrastructure renewal drive. We've been speaking with the Commissioner for Home Affairs, Information and Culture in Yobe State, Mr. Abdullahi Bago. Thank you for your time.
Thanks so much for having me. Have a nice day.
And you too. The Taraba State Government is partnering the World Bank through the Agro-Climatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes Project, ACRISL, to curb issues relating to climate change to ensure climate justice for a green and safe environment. The duo, during a road walk to sensitize Taraba residents on the need for attitudinal change, regrets that it has led to increase in crime rate, poverty, and unending insecurity. And that sums it up on Newsroom series, this edition of the program covering Nigeria's Northeast. We'll be back again next week for another round of editions. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.